Hello everybody, my name is Hedley Nguyen Quintana. I am a PhD candidate in epidemiology in the Karolinska Institute, and I am working right now try to show you something that frightened me a lot when I was a bit younger. That was the terminal, the R terminal. R is a statistical, no, not statistical, it's a programming language who have a built-in statistical function that allow you to handle databases and these kind of things. This, first of all, let me present. This is an Ubuntu operating system, and this Ubuntu operating system, this is the little mouse that represent actually the menu. I have access to the terminal. You have a Mac, you also have access to the terminal, but in Windows, in order to access R, you need to have the program installed. In order to just to give you an idea how to install R here in Ubuntu, it's a very tricky thing to do. First you have to write nano, etc. Then apt sources list. I use the autocomplete with the tab key, and here let me put it down here. I installed R today in the morning, and there was a problem with the mirrors and so on. But with this line, you append this line into the end of the file, and you were able to go and run with R. To install R, then you do sudo apt get update, and then sudo apt get R base. I usually use the dev in order to get it better, to get actually the development function version of R. Take a while to run the update, and sorry, this was a mistake because it's not sudo install rbase. Not really, it's a mistake. It's install. I will receive that this is install. Yeah, I have the newest version, that is the 3.30. Okay, then we have R install, and I use write capital R in order to get to R. And when we try to, let me put it a bit better, let me clear the console and try again. You will see that you have some information, and then you have this but in all the languages you have this arrow thing with a cursor that you have to write things there. So the idea of this video is to tell you actually what to write in the console to get familiar with this frightening thing, no? The first thing that you have to know is that in R the objects are called, or the object can be also stored in you can actually store values in variables. You can see that more like an idea of an object, but let me show you first some valid objects in R. I can write 23, okay, and I put enter, and when I write 23, the console gets me back 23. It's simple as that. If I say hello world, I put it in quotation mark, the console give me back hello world, no? But if I put it in single quote, it will be the same. I will get hello world again. So this is the way that you write hello world in R. You write hello world in quotation, and it works. And it works. Very simple. Then you can store different, as I mentioned before, these things. You can store it in object. Let me write something like hello, and when I write this, actually I get an error. This error is very important because it tells you that this object, because it doesn't have quotation mark, is not found. But I can easily create an object with this assignment sign. That in R there are two assignment signs. That is the less than followed by a dash. It's like an arrow, and you can assign the hello world to this thing. If I try to run it again, I use return the hello world. If I write C, for example, I will say that C is a function. It's a built-in function in R. And C, what it does is that it stores an object that is called a vector. So the vector is an object in R that stores one type, different elements with a single type. Let me show you something here. Let me say, instead of hello, let me create a vector. It's a collection of different elements. Let me put it like this. And the elements in a vector, they are separated by commas. Hello world. Then put something like this. 1. Okay. If I write like this and I do enter and I try to call hello again, notice that the 1 at the end has been quoted, and I didn't quote it. This one here is totally different to this one because this is a string or a character vector it's called in R, and this is a number. Okay, and we have the way that you store object. But I can, if I want, I can create a vector of objects like this, 4 and then 23. If I call this thing again, you will see that this number doesn't have a quotation marks, and the reason because this is number. So this is a nice function called is. No, I can use autocomplete here in R2. Is numeric hello, and the answer is true. Again, and the reason hello is numeric is because hello, I store numbers in hello. But if I had the old hello, that actually have these strings with quotations, and I try to run again is numeric, it will get a false value. But if I run, instead of is numeric is character, it will return true. Okay, so this is how these things work in R. Okay, let me do something different. Let's do this. If I don't write if I write something like this, I will get an error because the last element should be present, and I actually give it purposefully blank because you shouldn't do that. But if I do this, instead of having this greater than sign, I have a plus sign, and the plus sign means that it is waiting for some kind of input. So if I do this, I still have the plus sign, but if I do this, then the plus sign disappears, and the value of hello, you can see that is hello world, and have 23 and have now. All of these things actually are in the object that we have created. Okay, let's do some math now. Okay, let's 24. How much is 24 plus 56? It is 80. And this, and when you have this plus sign here, this plus sign always, at least in R, represent the sum sign. When you have it between two numbers. Okay, but if this is a string, I will get an error because this plus sign is problematic. Doesn't mean anything. I have two strings different from other language. I also have an error because the plus sign in R does not mean concatenation. In order to get the concatenation in R, you have to have the paste 0 function. It's a function separated by comma, of course. Okay, but if I use paste, I will get the number separated by a space. And the reason for that, let me quote it like paste with a, if I write a question mark here in the console, I am in Unix, I will enter into a help paste, and notice that in paste without the 0, I have a separator, an SEP argument that have a space. I can actually read more things about that, but in order to get out from here, I have to write Q. Let me return to this, and instead of having the default value of a separator, I will put a comma space. If I do this, then I have this string is 24,56 separated by a space. Of course, I can have an additional parameters like hello and 1, for example. If I do this, then the 1 become part of the string. No, this base and base 0 are the equivalent in the other programming language of the concatenation of strings that actually put different pieces of string together. No, of course, I can also save this thing in a variable called variable dot. So dot string, whatever I could call it, whatever I want, and this string variable string is saved as a string of one element. This is very interesting. There is another kind of object in R. Let me show you the first of all the Control L just to clean the variable. It works also in Windows. And when I run this function, actually show me the different objects that are in the environment. To eliminate the objects in the environment, I use run the function ls, put hello, and it gets eliminated from the environment. Okay, I will stop for now, but I would like to get actually a bit of fun in the next session. See you later. Bye.